Hello viewers, you're welcome. Once again, I'm Titus, working with Micro Business Mentors Uganda and taking you through our training modules. Today, we are actually coming to the end of our last module, which is Savings and Credit Scheme. But remember, this is Micro Business Mentors, so that actually means even if the training is over and this is our last module, the mentorship still continues, either during the weekly group meetings or during the follow-ups or visits. It's very important that you as the trainer, in a way, you really continue with the mentorship, especially, just like I said before, during the weekly meetings, follow-ups, home visits, and stuff like that. Now, just like I said, our topic is savings and credit. Now, as for the trainer, you may need to ask the participants if they know of any savings and credit scheme in their community. Let them share with you some of the things they know about such savings schemes and savings and credit schemes, how they operate, the rules, and how they actually operate their businesses. Now, after they have shared with you, you kind of tell them how important it is to form a group savings, and a group savings at that level, or a credit scheme. Now, given the fact that we are looking at sustainability of the groups, because the credit scheme actually comes in as a result of having these groups sustainable, because at the end of the day, they will save and then kind of take a credit from the pool, of which they maybe agree on a certain interest, and to kind of keep their pool growing and growing and growing. However, for our efforts, I think we will concentrate on savings. It's very, very important that you actually have the group members, look at a time when micro business mentors may not be in a position to actually help them, to give them more funds. What can they do, and how can they cope up? So it's very, very important that you actually kind of let them look ahead of time when micro business mentors is no longer funding or giving them any more loans. Now, once that is done, you now can introduce the topic, or you even can ask them to define what savings is, because of course some of them know some of the groups from within their communities that are doing the same thing, or most probably they have done it before and they actually even have an idea of how it works. Now, after they've given you all the information, sometimes you remember we said you kind of write it on the flip chart, and you really have to make sure that whoever's has given out the answer feels great about themselves and they're happy, because just to enhance, to let them to give them time of making more contributions during the training. So it's really important that now at that level you can take them through what exactly it means to do savings, or even savings and credit scheme. Now, for the savings scheme, it's very, very important that members of the group agree on a certain amount of money that they do save every time they have their meetings during the week. For instance, some of the group may decide, this is Ugandan currency, okay, let's use $1. They can be like, okay, each member during our weekly meetings will be required to be saving $1 every day. Now, sometimes for some of those savings, in most cases, for other saving schemes, that savings is not actually touched, not until the end of the cycle. If the loan repayment period is 6 months, then that means nobody is supposed to touch that savings. Or if they want to have some money to reinvest back into their businesses. Remember, we said some time back that they form cash round groups where each one pulls 1,000 or $1, and then if they are 10, they give $10 to one person. Then they can either use that to, let's say, reinvest back into their businesses or take care of some things. However, if you want them to look ahead at a time when micro business mentors can no longer give them any more loans, then that means they have to make compulsory savings. And those compulsory savings may not really be touched, not until the end of the cycle or during the time that the organization is looking at giving them more loans. It might be maybe 3 or 4, depending on the circumstances. So then what happens is that at a time when in fact, what happens, sometimes they really become very, very proud of their savings as they watch them grow. Now, we have actually one tool that helps them see how their savings grow and like become proud and, have the feel of like saving more and more and more, like making more sacrifices to make sure like, hey, there is this money, I can forego to buy a new dress and I can take this money, to my savings. Now, the tool we have for that is this passbook. Now, every member has to have this passbook to record their savings and to record their loan repayments. Now, it's upon you, the trainer, to teach the treasurer of how they are going to be entering records into this book. Now, this book has now, first of all, you have to make sure a photo or a picture of the individual owner of such a passbook appears in the book. And then, of course, their name, you can even have their contact numbers in the book, because if anything happens, you can like have a point of reference, or you can just call them on phone and, and talk. Then, now, this is statement of savings. Now, on this sheet, this is where the treasurer records the savings for each particular individual. You have the date, you have the total deposit, you have savings. If at any particular time during the course of the saving or during the course of the loan repayment period, a borrower wants to withdraw money from their savings, there is a section for that. There is savings withdrawal. You just like deduct from the total savings and then you get the balance and then you kind of continue. So savings withdrawal and then you have the balance. And now it's very, very important that this person who actually is the rightful owner of the book signs against how much they have brought. Or if not, some of them may not actually be able to write, but they can. The treasurer can sign in the presence of you, the trainer, because you'll be attending the weekly meetings, and then in the presence of the person or the rightful owner of the book. Now, on this part, this is where we record the loan repayments. Now, still the same thing. You have week here. You have week, like from week 1 when they begin paying back the loan, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to the end, and then you have date, and then you have loan repayment, you have balance, and then you have to sign. Now, of course, this is loan repayment, but remember we are talking about savings. Now, it's at that level that you actually let the treasurer know their role and you walk them through how to use that book. Now, you can actually show them some of these pictorials that we have. Like you have a group of 4, 2 women and then 2 men. They're like, okay, we will all pay 1,000 shillings to the pot. Now, this is the pot where they actually put their money, their collections. So if they're paying 1,000 each individual and therefore that means it's going to be 4,000. Oh, actually they are 5. It's going to be 5,000. Now, once that money is collected in the pot, it becomes, it accumulates to 5,000. Now, that 5,000 is actually given to one person. Now, how do they get to know that this is the first person to get the first round or the second or third up to the last? Now, you can like rate their numbers. If let's say they are 5, you rate number one, you get small papers, you tear them up, and then you write on them 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5. Now you kind of squeeze them. After squeezing them, you dump them on the floor. Now each member comes and picks one paper. Now whoever picks a paper must read the number that appears on it. Now it will be that number that will actually guarantee or will show that your position, your number 1 or number 2, number 3, or up to the last. And then they have to rate that in their books of records, like who is number 1, who is number 2, and whoever. Oh, sorry. This is. Yeah, still this is for the savings, but this is savings for like. This is what we were talking about previously, cash round. This is actually how it operates. Sorry, I might confuse you a little bit. This is how it works. So then, after putting money in the pool, you have them discussing them amongst themselves, like now who gets the number 1, who gets number 2, and what. So then, at the end of the day, they get who number 1 is, and then they give them that money. This is also one other way of saving. Because if, let's say, I'm number 5, I've made savings worth 5,000 in 5 weeks. This is another way of actually saving money, but in that has another format and that has another, different rules. Now, for this particular type of savings, it might be actually savings and credit. You save and give out credits. Now, how it happens is that, remember we say that you have to have the group look ahead at the time when micro business makers can no longer give them money. How can they be able to sustain their group? It's kind of hard, but that's why it's very, very important to have these guys, the participants, have some level of trust amongst each other. Although sometimes this works on under the arrangement that maybe each person guarantees another and stuff like that. But of course, like if you're getting people from different areas and then trying to bring them together, it's really, really very, very paramount to have them, kind of trust each other. And of course, you have to put down rules that govern the group and stuff like that. Now, when we come to savings and credit, remember, you save and give out credits. We said you can save. Let's say this is the month of January, Feb, March, and April. Now you save 5,000 in January, you save 10,000, 15, and 20. You're not supposed to touch on this money. If, let's say, MBM is giving a loan to a group 3 rounds, then not until the 3 rounds that you're supposed to touch on these savings. Now you only touch these savings when you know that maybe it's now time to actually rely on ourselves. Because the thing is, these women sometimes, even up to that level, they can't even go to the bank because they don't have security. They're not credit worthy, So they now can rely on the much they have saved to give credits with an interest, an agreeable interest amongst themselves to, each one person. And, of course, there are many rules that govern such groups. Like if somebody wanted to get a loan from the group, then you have to have 1 person or 2 to guarantee you from within the same group. And then you don't have to take a large amount of money that is even more than your savings, or that is even more than the savings of you and the persons that have guaranteed you all together. It has to be less than that. That means if, let's say, this person that has taken a credit defaults, then the group is going to withhold the savings of the 2 people that actually guaranteed you to save their funds. So it will now be imperative on these 2 people that guaranteed you to get a loan to trace you up and to come and talk to you, such that you actually find the money and then pay back to the group, such that another person also benefits with the interest, and of course have the savings grow and the savings scheme grow and stuff like that. So this actually marks the end of our discussions about the modules that we use during our training week for the groups that have qualified to get loans. But remember, nobody qualifies for a loan until they come for the training. Even if they came for the training and they missed out 1 day or 2 days, they do not qualify for the loan. Thanks for watching.